Good afternoon, everyone. It is January 7th, 2019, so they tell us. I'm doing another quick update because I've had so many questions over the last week about the geomagnetics. So I took a couple hours today and I did a backtrack on looking at the Earth's geomagnetosphere. Backing it track now, I can only take the images at 300 frames at a time. So it's taken me quite a while to go through piece by piece. You may see some little bits of overlaps here and there. What I want to show to people is the difference, okay? The difference between, because when you get snarky people who came on the YouTube channel when I did the what the fuck just hit us video a few days ago, being like, oh, this is just normal. No. So before we get into this, I want to show you what normal looks like. Okay, I'm going to show you a video. I've already set it up. I just literally backtracked it a year ago. So I want to give you a really good comparison. So same time of year, so we're not going to get questions about whether we're dealing with equinox, et cetera, et cetera. Now, one of the pieces that could be playing into these geomagnetic anomalies, if we'll call them that, is planetary alignments, etc. I don't know. I'm not an astrophysicist. But I want to put this out just to give you an example. So give me a quick second. I'm going to show you. Maybe I'm going to show you. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to break this out and I'm going to show you. This is January 1st, 2018, so a year ago. Starting at, randomly I picked a time, at I can't tell if that says 1200 or 1800 because my screen is a mess. Okay, so I'm going to show you. This is what our average, everyday kind of feed looks like on the planet. You're going to see, yes, there are hits that we take. We see incoming blasts, solar wind streams. We see geomagnetic anomalies, little bits and pieces, and cosmic rays, etc. as well. But you can see from this that we're not seeing the kind of things that we have been witnessing this past 7 days. But I wanted to put this part of the video out as a comparison for everyone to see what I'm talking about, why I have been literally freaking out on this and talking about it nonstop for the last week, because what we're seeing is not normal. It is very, very unusual. The kind of things that I really have not seen before. Okay, so again, you can see, yeah, we have all kinds of stuff going on. We can see, okay, we see the hits coming in over here. You can see, watch, they come in and you see the bowing effect, and then you see this where it comes out. This is our magnetic fields, and you are seeing these anomalies. This is kind of what we see, daily life, if you will. Okay, now what I am going to do is I'm going to take you through the last, I think I go back to December 30th. And you're even going to see in the lead up to the 1st, there's a radical change that happens January 1st. I'm just putting that out there. You guys can watch the graphs for yourself. Come up with your own opinions of what you're seeing. It's up to you. But I want you guys to see this. So I'm going to put together the video now. I'll put all the pieces in. I'm going to do the best I can. Like I said, you may have some overlaps because I'm doing in 300 frame sections. That's all I can do. But take a look. And like I said, if there's anyone out there who has some theories on what we're seeing, any more information, can maybe even read these graphs better than I can, please, I want to hear from you. Dani, D-A-N-I, at rts.earth. Okay, we are at December 30th at just before 4 p.m. Just 6 p.m. Just after 7, 8, We are 9 p.m. 11. And then we have a massive jump there. We can see the hits again. Starting here, we are at 2 a.m. (4:30), almost 5 a.m. on the 31st. (8 a.m. on the 31st), which continues up into 9 a.m. You can see everything is being blown straight back, and then we jump. Okay, we are at December 31st, 2018 at 8:59 or just 9 a.m. in the morning, the last day of the year, the so-called last day of the year. 9. Sorry for the noise, everyone. My washing machine's going on in the background. 1 p.m. 2 p.m. 2:50 p.m. 4 p.m. 6 p.m. Continuing right up to 7:30. 8. 9, still going. 10, still going. Oh, just dropped then. Here we go, 11. And we go into our midnight blast, apparently. Again, not as big as the ones that we see from the second forward. But you can still see the unrest as we go into 2 a.m. on the 1st. Okay, we are at January 1st, 2019 at 2:31 a.m. UTC is where we're starting off on this set. You're going to see it's much calmer for the most part of the early part of the night and into the early day. 4 a.m. 5 a.m. Going on to 9 a.m. 10, 10:30 into 11 a.m. This is where it starts to go. 11:30 a.m. 12 noon. 2 p.m. Almost 4. You see this remains 5. Now again, look at the angle, how the upward angle of the red lines, this is unusual. 8 p.m. Okay, we're at January 1st, 2019. It is just after 8 p.m. UTC. Now, this is interesting in that everything seems to be blowing upwards if you look at the direction on this time. Coming up to midnight. We have a couple of small ones there. Again, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3, and you can see this is remaining open this whole time. 4, 6, into 7, 8, 9. There's another blast that comes in at 10 o'clock in the morning. And you can see, huge, huge hit there. Noon on the 2nd. Okay, this is where we pretty much left off on the report I put out a little while ago called What the Heck Just Hit Us? Or What the Fuck Just Hit Us? We thought that blast at the midnight between the 1st and the 2nd was huge. Just wait till you see this. This is the January 2nd, 2019. We're starting at 13:55, which is just before 2 p.m. UTC. And watch again as we start building up to that seemingly magical hour of midnight, the witching hour. We build up here at 3 o'clock into 4 p.m. 5:30. Okay, I'm going to hit play again. Sorry, we had a bit of a bobble there. So we are at just before 6 p.m. on January 2nd. Building again. Now we're at 8 p.m. Quite a huge one there at 8 p.m. going into 9. 10. Coming up to midnight. There's the blast. Here's the shockwave. Absolute craziness goes on. Look at this until after 2 o'clock in the morning. And then another one immediately follows it. And this continues until 3 o'clock, after 3 o'clock in the morning. These are crazy, crazy hits that we're seeing in shockwaves. Okay, we are at January 3rd at 18:51, just before 7 p.m. on January 3rd. Coming up on 2300, 11 p.m. Midnight on the 4th. This is the only night that we did not have a massive blast between that midnight and 1 p.m. We had a smaller one. Now watch. You can see the hit come in again. This is 4 o'clock in the morning, January 4th. Six a.m., 7 a.m. Okay, we are now at January 4th at 11:51 a.m. Here we are at noon. Starting up again, going into 2 into 3. 4 p.m. Just after 5. Now you can see the hits coming in. Here we are at 7. 10. We're coming up on midnight again. And again. Big, huge hits just after midnight. Massive ones again. 2 o'clock in the morning on the 5th. Okay, starting again. We are at January 5th, 2019 at 4:47 a.m. I'm sorry, guys, we have to do it in these increments like this. I can only capture 300 frames at a time. So I kind of have to do it in these small segments. We build up to 8 a.m. again. Another blast. You see it builds up again. 9. Going on 11. We go 1 p.m. on the 5th. 2:30. Just after 4. Going on 6 p.m. 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Still going. Okay, so we're starting here now. We're at January 5th at 21:54, just before 2200. Okay, that is 10 p.m. UTC on the 5th, going into the 6th. The whole day of the 6th was just rocked continuously, as you'll see from the graphs. 10:30. Coming up into midnight, it expands again. At just before 1, we have the next massive big blow. And you can see again, it remains unstable straight through till past 3 o'clock in the morning. And here we go again, going on 6 a.m. Eight o'clock in the morning. 9:45. 11. 1 p.m. And just before 3 p.m., again, you see it starting to build again. January 6th at just past 1400. $15.50, 1600, 1700. $7:30 at night, 1900. We go at 8 o'clock. Again, you can see again, pretty much non-stop. 2200. Going to the midnight hour. Here we go, hitting midnight. Again, another massive, massive blast. 1. Okay? It is 1:30 in the morning before that calms down, and immediately another massive hit at 2 comes through. $4 a.m. on the 7th. Going to 6 a.m. on the 7th. And I've just reset the pattern to get the later on this morning. We're continuing from this morning, January 7th, 2019 at 7 a.m. UTC. I'll give you a little interesting piece that happened for me during this. You can see it still remains unstable. We have another one here at just before 11 UTC. So, at just before 11 UTC, that is where I am in CET, Central European Time. That is noon, my time. Just before noon, my time, I was sitting at my desk and I literally almost fell sideways. I was so instantly dizzy, and I wasn't moving. I was not doing anything at all. Now, if we are talking about direct sun interference, at noon my time, we would be pretty much directly pointing face first into the sun when that geomagnetic storm hit. So was that what I felt? No idea. And continuing on, it is today, the 7th of January. We are just past or just before noon time. Even I haven't seen this footage yet. 1, Wow. And that's all we've got to show you right up till 15 minutes ago. Okay, so we took a look at basically the historical of this past week, and you can watch as those blasts get bigger and bigger, and we see those really massive ones around the second into the third and going forward. Now I want to show you the geomagnetics. Now, unfortunately, I can go to SolarHam. I can show you what is existing at this moment in the last 3 days. Not so easy to go backwards. And my go-to site for getting this kind of information, because I can set the date parameters very simply, is TSIS out of Russia. Well, guess what? TSIS has been up and down like a freaking yo-yo for the past 4 days. Okay, so I'm going to show you. This is, come on, show. There we go. Okay, so you guys can see, here's our geomagnetics for the last 3 days. Absolutely calm. Absolutely calm. We had the one tiny geomagnetic storm that happened just after midnight, January 5th. It barely registered as a storm. It's the lowest form of storm you can pretty much get. It was a KP5, barely a G1. It lasted for maybe 2.5 hours, and it already died off really, really quick. That is the storm that all the media was trying to warn us about. Okay, now I'm going to show you. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I usually can be able to go like this and go, well, let's go back to the 4th. Hey, look, it's actually going to work. It must be back up again. Yay. Okay, so here we go. Going back to the 4th, look, there is a slight elevation on the 4th. Nothing, really, nothing. But you can see we are almost flat line down here on the 3rd and the 2nd. We go back to the 1st, same thing. You can see there are no storms anywhere to be seen. Now we flip over here to SolarHam. SolarHam has had no news, nothing other than, a new sunspot January 1st, January 4th. Oh, geomagnetic storm watch. Yeah, and I just discovered that one. Not really much of a geomagnetic storm. Okay, no geomagnetic storm, no radiation storm. Geomagnetic field is called quiet. Solar X-rays in the last 24 hours are considered normal. Okay, I'm going to flip you over here. Okay, that's the geomagnetics again. Here we go. So this is the solar wind speeds. You can see since the 6th, so I can only get at this point right now for quick, easy access. The last day, since 1500 or 3 p.m. yesterday UTC to today, we're looking at really calm. It's very, very calm. There's nothing much coming in. You have the tiniest bit of a raised wind speed. That's it. We go to ACE. Again, in ACE, you can see there is a little bit of elevation, but not that much. Okay, we go here. We have the ACEs over here. So again, we can see just over here at 2100 last night, we started getting a bit of an elevation when we have blackout period. And then a little bit later, hold on, I gotta move this out of my way. This afternoon, you can see again, we had another little bit of an elevation. The proton flux has been absolutely normal. So what are we seeing? That's my question. What are we seeing? There is nothing coming along in the equipment that we have access to that shows us all the story. As I talked, the discussion I had with Ann Callahan on Transpicuous Views, I published it earlier today. We get into the fact of, like, it could literally be that we don't have the equipment to measure the kind of energies that are coming in. Because if you have a piece of machinery and it measures, this range of frequencies or this range of frequencies, and they're set to measure only those frequencies, there can be a ton of other stuff coming in that's not being measured. That's my question. What are we seeing? So like I said, If anyone has more information, please feel free to throw it at me. Throw it at me. That's it for me. I will talk to you again really, really soon. Bye.